Hi, today we are doing an amazing and a lovely story. The name of the story is Good Out of Evil. So let's see what the story is all about. Once there lived a merchant in a village. One day he earned a lot of money and was returning home. His way lay through a thick forest. The forest was infested with robbers, so he was in a hurry. He had not gone very far when it began to rain. He was drenched to skin. He grew angry and cursed God for the untimely rain and bad weather. As he was going so, he came across a robber with a loaded pistol in his hand. Pointing the pistol towards the merchant, the robber said, "Your life or your money." The merchant did not lose heart and kept his presence of mind. He began to run as fast as he could. The robber gave him a hot chase. Soon the robber overtook the merchant. He aimed at him with his pistol and pulled the trigger. The gunpowder had become wet due to heavy rain, so the pistol did not go off. The merchant escaped unhurt. Then he thanked God for rain and bad weather. He concluded that his safety was due to rain and said, "Sometimes good comes out of evil." So, the moral of the story is God does everything for our good. Well, it was a lovely story. Let's do some vocabulary of these. Infested. Meaning of infested is filled with something harmful or unwanted. Drenched. Drenched means soaked completely in water. भीग जाना पानी में. Cursed. Spoke angrily against someone or something. Untimely. Happening at an unsuitable time. Gunpowder. A mixture used in guns to make bullets fire. Presence of mind. The ability to stay calm and think clearly in danger is called presence of mind. Escaped. Got away safely from danger. Unhurt. Not injured or damaged. Let's do some more questions based on it. Find a word meaning a person who steals. A person who steals is also known as robber. So instead of using this entire line, we can use robber. Find the opposite of good, evil. What is the meaning of drenched? Completely wet. What is the past tense of begin? Began. What is a plural form of robber? Robbers. Correct spelling of merchant is merchant. Find word, one adjective from the story. Thick, because it explains the word forest. Find one word that shows action. Run. Make a sentence using pistol. The robber aimed his pistol at the merchant. Replace the word angry with another similar word and we can use furious in place of it. Let's do some questions. Who lived in the village? A merchant lived in a village. What was the merchant doing before he started his journey? He had earned a lot of money and was returning home. Where did the merchant have to pass through? He had to pass through a thick forest. Why was the merchant in a hurry? Because the forest was full of robbers. That is why he was in a hurry. What happened when the merchant was on his way? It began to rain heavily. How did the merchant feel about the rain? He was angry, furious, and cursed God for untimely rain. Who stopped the merchant on his way? a robber stopped the merchant. What was the robber holding in his hand? Robber के hand में क्या था? The robber was holding a loaded pistol. What did the robber say to the merchant? Robber ने merchant को क्या कहा? The robber said, "Your life or your money." Did the merchant lose the courage? No, he kept his presence of mind. What did the merchant do when the robber threatened him? He began to run as fast as he could. What did the robber do when the merchant ran? The robber chased the merchant. Did the robber catch the merchant? Yes, he soon overtook him. What did the robber do after catching the merchant? He aimed his pistol and pulled the trigger. Why did the pistol did not go off? Because the gunpowder had become wet due to rain. What happened to the merchant in the end? He escaped unharmed. Escaped मतलब भाग जाना. तो वो unharmed मतलब बिना चोट लगे, बिना इंजर हुए वहाँ से भाग गया. What did the merchant realize afterwards? उसे क्या realize हुआ? He realized that the rain he had cursed had actually saved his life. He realized that the rain he had cursed, जिसको उसने curse किया था, had actually saved his life. Whom did the merchant thank at the end? Merchant ने किसको thank किया? He thanked God for the rain and bad weather. What lesson did the merchant learn? He learned that everything happens for a reason and God does everything for our good. What is the moral of the story? Sometimes good comes out of evil. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. Let's do some more questions. Why did the merchant curse God at first? Because the rain made him wet. He was totally drenched and delayed his journey. That is why he cursed the God. What could have happened if it had not rained? अगर rain नहीं हुई होती तो क्या होता? These are analytical questions. You have to think over it. The robber's pistol would have worked and the merchant might have been killed. Why did the robber fail to shoot? The gunpowder was wet, so the pistol did not fire. How did the rain, which first seemed bad, became a blessing later? It saved the merchant's life by making the gunpowder wet. What quality helped the merchant survive? His courage and the presence of his mind made him survive. What does the story teach us about life? It teaches us about the trust on God and not to complain during tough times. So we should not complain because we learned that whatever happens, happens for a reason. Was the merchant right to get angry? No, because later he realized this rain was actually a blessing for him. What is meant by presence of mind? What do you mean by what this word means? The ability to think clearly and act wisely in difficult situations. How did the merchant's attitude change by the end? Well, from anger, he turned his anger into complaint to gratitude and faith. So his anger and complaint was completely changed to gratitude and faith. Gratitude means when you thank somebody for helping you. Why is the story titled Whatever Happens, Happen for a Reason? Because even the bad events in life may have a good purpose behind them. Or we can say, good out of evil. This was the title. Why? Because even the bad events in the life may have a good purpose behind them. That is why this story was named as Good Out of Evil. Well, the story ends here and we have done comprehension and we have learned so many new words today. I hope you would love this story. If you liked it, don't forget to share, subscribe and like it. We'll meet you next time with another story. Till then, bye.